Welcome to Ngosti Talk Shows. Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Challenges we have had to overcome in 2020.
Find your own voice.
The world has become united by the unseen, knowing there are no guarantees for tomorrow.
Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Let the world hear your voice and be filled within.
For the day has come for you to be a great leader.
The time has come to break away from the pain, distraction, experience the unthinkable.
Welcome to Ngozi Talk Shows, everyone. My name is Nomsa Clara Mbe. If it is your first time at Ngozi Talk Shows, we talk about all different subjects from all walks of life. We have all the coaches from all walks of life. And please do subscribe to our channel as well. And let's enjoy the content, what we produce every single day at 1 p.m. UK time. With me today, I have Dr. Biget. And Dr. Biget, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you very much, Numsa, and good afternoon, good morning. If you are here like myself in the US, it's about 5 in the morning right now, or perhaps it's in the evening when you catch this. But wherever you are, would you love to be able to live with more well-being, to have resiliency when things happen, that you'll be able to, instead of, let's say, life is throwing things at you, instead of getting it to you, or you can sort of like just start it off and let it bounce off very easily, and you keep going on in life. And as a grief recovery, grief transformation specialist, that is what my expertise is. It's because life is happen. Life happens to all of us. None of us immune. And at the same time, there are ways for us to be able to continue to have peace of mind and thrive, have solace in adversities, and stay on so we can share with you how to do that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Biget. So our topic today, hi, Padmaja, how are you? Thank you for joining us from India. Hope everything is okay in India. We appreciate you. And please engage with us. Have a conversation with us if you want to. So our topic today is how to manage stress and promote well-being. And, if you want to promote well-being, you have to check in with yourself very often, because we basically live a busy life. We have families, we have work that we have to, and we have some people, they are studying, they are working, some people have kids at the same time. And if you don't check in with yourself very often, you could find yourself suffering from anxiety, depression, and all sorts of things. So, and also having sleepless night. And it is actually very, very important to actually look after your well-being. I agree with you. So, Dr. Biget, when you saw this topic, what came to your mind?
Thank you, Numsa. So when I saw this topic, one thing that I think there's a bit of an echoing. I don't know if people are hearing it as well.
I'm going to mute myself. You are a bit, I don't know, your volume is a bit low.
My volume a little bit low. Okay. Let me see. Is my volume still low?
It's okay now.
Okay. Might be. Let me double check the speaker system here really quick. As you saw, yeah, it's on default. Not sure why. So if it's okay now, it's wonderful.
Oh yeah, I've put you up as well, this side as well.
Oh, okay. All right, wonderful. So In terms of what I thought when I saw about this how to manage stress and promote well-being, I would say that, well, it is something that a skill that we all in general can be better, even if you are a resiliency coach, even if you are a master coach of some form. A lot of time it's as we go through life, it's something that we tend to say, oh yeah, as life changes, we continue to learn to adapt. And so it is something that's very important also. In addition to something that we can all continue to get better, it's something that is very important, because if we are stressed out, then we know nowadays that science shows that if we are stressed out, it's actually afflicted our physical body. Never mind in a lot of other things, but even just the physical body itself, it's afflicted by stress. When you stress, your body releases certain hormones, and that secondarily change in your blood pressure, change in your heart rate, change in your functioning of your cells, and also change in your immunity. It's lower your immune system. And then of course many of us experience, if you stress, usually you stress because of a project, right, or a problem, depending on how you see it, then you want to solve. But then you notice, the more stressed you are, the less likely you will be able to solve this thing, because your mind get clouded. And so it's something that, to me, it's, if we want to to be able to. Thank you, Padmaja. Thank you for joining us today. We love to share what's your thought about this, about managing stress, and how in particular. Perhaps you have one or two tips that typically work for you very, very well. That we'd love to hear about it as well. Do share them. And so it's, to me, it's something that's really, really important in being able to live life day to day for practically everybody living, and nowadays in this day and time of change. What about you, Numsa? And you are muted.
I actually agree with you when you say basically if you get stressed out, you basically get clouded. Your mind gets clouded with all the stress and everything that comes with it. I think that is basically you have to make sure, and also your memory. You can't focus if you don't look after yourself, and you need to focus. You need your memory. If you look after your well-being, you eat well, it helps with your memory, and it helps you to focus. And even when you get up in the morning, you basically get up fresh because you have good sleep, good night's sleep. So some people will say, as a business person, you shouldn't sleep 4 hours, you shouldn't sleep 5 hours. But your body tells you how much sleep you need, because we are all different. For me, basically, I see our bodies are different. We all different as well. So, and what we eat as well is different. So some people might need more sleep. Like myself, I see myself when I go out and do something, or sometimes I can go to a party. Like Saturday, I went to a 40th anniversary, wedding anniversary. And because I came back late, around 1, and I could see in the morning I was up early, really early. I could see in the afternoon that I was tired. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a sleep. So I have a sleep, and when I walked into the bedroom, the two of my daughters as well, they were sleeping, and her dad was sleeping as well. And I was like, I'm tired, they've taken the bed, why don't you go to your bed? And asking my daughter, but then I crashed, and everyone, I think we were sleeping for 2 hours, because the body says I'm tired. And I've set the alarm waking everybody up in the morning, so they woke up because I was up. So sometimes your body tells you that you need to sleep. or if you are not eating very well, or if you are stressed, and it's good to actually practice mindfulness as well. Mindfulness, it does help with basically when you're meditating, breathing, and journaling. Dr. Bickett, you promote you have to be like grateful. You promote being grateful, like if you are grateful each and every day, and you have that small thing that you're grateful of, it doesn't have to be a big thing. Some people say, I'm happy when I have big things, but it's just those small things that we take for granted. If you journal everything that you are grateful of and do small exercises each and every day, some people believe that, like for me, basically, I do proper exercises every day, but I see people saying going for a walk. Somebody will go for a walk for 1 hour and they tell me, I wish I could do more, but 1 hour walking is too much. That is enough. For me, I see it as enough. It's enough, because even 10 minutes, 20 minutes, it's just enough. And just we're meant to appreciate everything, every effort we make. And that is promoting our well-being. It's like we're here at Ngozi Talk Show. We have Padmaja. We have to appreciate her, because it's just not like thousands and thousands of followers or views that we get. It's just one person. When you talk to somebody and somebody relate to you, that you're like, wow, I appreciate that. But we tend not to appreciate everything. We want more. So is that looking after yourself? It's like what helped me basically when I got into personal development, when I used Paul McKenna's programs. It's like getting up in the morning, you set the alarm up, and when you get up in the morning, I didn't know that having the courage to get out of bed, Dr. Biggett, is work for me. I have to be grateful for that. And it's something that I wouldn't appreciate it, or see myself and give praise myself and being grateful. Just small things. And I always thought I had to do big. And for me to say, wow, I've done something. But then I started realizing that small things, just going to the bath, having the courage to clean myself, it's my well-being. I'm looking after myself, and I have to give myself credit for that. Those little things that we take for granted, that's how I see that they play a part for for our well-being and our mindfulness. What do you think, Dr. Biggett? What do you use for you to practice well-being each and every day? Would you like to share some things?
Surely, absolutely. So, a few things that I typically use, and you mentioned one of them, and that is gratitude. It's I have a gratitude group, and it's called Joyful uh, Daily Gratitude, and so it's a gratitude. And sometimes you think, like you just mentioned, some of us think like, oh, what a lot of people say. "Well, I don't know what to be grateful for. There's a lot of there's nothing special happening in our life. But or some of us has been taught you got to be listing 10 or maybe 20 things to be grateful for every day, which is perfectly awesome if you're doing that. But if you are starting, like you say, Numsa, just a little bit is fine. Even just doing a little one or two thing. This is a gratitude book. You can see it in the background, but this is a gratitude book that I created. It's available on Amazon in every country. I think you have this, Numsa. And so inside of this, it has an inspiration. It's kind of like almost a prom on every week. It is 52.3 weeks because that's how many weeks in a year. And the inside of them on every week there's a kind of like a prom. Funny that you're talking about courage because the page open happened to open about courage. And this is you can the quote you can use as a prom, or you can just use it as a quote to inspire you. But also in each of them it's just 7 days of a little bit space. You're not going to write 20 gratitude, But even if you just write one at a day, and you can see this is one whole week in one page here. And so even if you just write one, and it could be something that, oh, you have electricity. Oh, you have you one day you have electricity. And talking about courage, what about, being grateful and celebrate yourself, being grateful and celebrate yourself on your courage this week. What courage do you have? Like Numsa say, the courage to get out of bed when it's still cold in the morning. With me today, I woke up at like 4:20 this morning. I was like, I don't want to wake up. And so, but the courage to actually tell yourself, yes, I'm going to do that. And then when you succeeded, to celebrate yourself for the every little thing that you do well. And perhaps tomorrow it is the courage to allow yourself time to actually sit down and eat lunch instead of working through lunch, which is, I'm not sure about many other places, but here in the UK, in the US, seemingly people has a hobby of doing that, and then perhaps the next day to just the courage, if this is not something you usually do, to stop and appreciate the wildflower that you see that's coming up, as now this is springtime. So those little thing, the gratitude for every little things, and for gratitude and for your courage and yourself, and celebrating. For the one thing, if you follow me on my Facebook, you see that almost on weekly basis there is something that I find to celebrate. And sometimes it's matter of, I said, I'm celebrating being alive today. Aren't we all celebrating being alive? Because not all of us are alive, yes, as we wanted, or being able to have health, to have something seemingly basic but so important. And so that is one thing, gratitude and celebrations, as well as, if the other part is, as you mentioned, Snumsa, it's actually mindful. It's the other part of that. You could go, if you ever done this, you could go on a vacation and you go run in the vacation. And then after the vacations, you're like, my gosh, I really need a vacation because you run so much. How about if you enjoy, if you appreciate every moment that you have? You could be some people, and this is something that I did back in the day of the day. I used to be like so multitasking. Like I would be something here. Let's say, for instance, I will be speaking here, and then at the same time, I'm writing notes and doing something else. And I mean, first of all, if you're interacting with other people, people can tell that you're distracted, and that is not a great feeling. If you ever have this, if you're speaking to somebody else and they're like, even if they're like looking at you but their mind is insane somewhere else, you could tell this. And then it's kind of like it make you feel a little uncomfortable. Am I boring? Am I what have you? And this is something, when I was whenever I'm working with a client, I can see their mind. I just stop and say, when you pay attention to me, I'll keep going. And so being mindful, it doesn't, sometimes we can say, oh, if only we have, like you say, Numsa, 2 hours to go for a walk, 2 hours to exercise, 2 hours to meditate. Well, you can have an hour, or you can have 2 hours, or you can have 20 minutes. If in that 2 hours you have things running in your mind nonstop anyway, then you will not have the benefit of the activity, as if you actually sit down and say, okay, I'm being mindful, I'm appreciating, and I'm choosing, which is the other part, is to choose and decide. I'm being mindful, I'm appreciating, and I'm choosing to, that after these 20 minutes, or even if you have 5 minutes, in my book, Seeking Peace, which is my other book here, in this book, Seeking Peace, I share about the 9-second master move. It doesn't take that long. You're choosing and decide that, okay, after I take 3 deep breaths, I'm going to feel calmer. that after I have 20 minutes of nap, that I'm going to feel refreshed instead of going to the activity without an intention. And yes, definitely being able to to manage your time, or actually manage your activity such that it fits your time. That's very true, Padmaja. Being able to have a time management, or actually, since we all have 24 hours, if we think about it, to manage our activity. In my opinion, you asked for my opinion, we all have 24 hours, right? You have 24 hour, I have 24 hours. So people say it's time management, but it's truly is activity management. And back to being mindful, you want to be mindful about every activity that you are doing. And the reason for that is when you are mindful about your activity, you're more focused. And if you are more focused, you tend to, first of all, complete everything smoother, less likely to make mistakes. So don't take time to fix your mistakes. And then the second thing is when you're more focused, typically, if you really notice, if you're laser focused, the same amount of activity, you complete it faster. I mean, just for instance, something simple like washing dishes, right? If we are sitting there and washing dishes and chatting away and watching TV at the same time, instead of you sitting there going wash, 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 you probably finish your washing dishes with focus a little bit faster. So I would agree, being able to manage our time, or actually to manage our activity such that it fits our time and allow us time to be able to do things we would love, is absolutely very important. It's actually one thing that I title it in my coaching. It's part of my coaching. In my coaching, I title it how to double your time. Now you don't really double your time because we all have 24 hours. You don't suddenly get 48 hours, but you feel as if you have been given an extra 24-hour with using the tools and tips and skills that I teach in my coaching. But what about you, Numsa? How do you? What are some things that you find for you in particular, being very like your go to if you start feeling a little bit stressed?
My go-to is my prayer life and meditation. When I'm feeling stressed, basically I I meditate every single day. It doesn't matter whether it's 10 minutes. If I feel like I'm under pressure, I sit down for 10 minutes. Or if I have time, I sit down for 20 minutes. Or sometimes simply when I'm going to bed, I actually meditate. I can meditate for an hour, depending on how my day has been. Or sometimes I set the alarm up. I've started setting, I set the alarm for 1 week to wake me up at 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. Just to get up for 15 minutes or half an hour. But then I stopped setting the alarm. My mind, it has to wake me up now. In my mind, I have to wake up on my own. It's time to meditate, or it's time to pray. I pray for 15 minutes, for half an hour, and then I go back to bed. And when I'm really feeling stressed, I play my music. Is the time where I feel connect with myself and reconnect. Because if I want to be productive, we live a busy life. If you want to be productive, you're gonna have to have self-awareness of what is going on in your life. And sometimes I find that when I'm doing something, if I get disappointed with, maybe let's say I'm doing something, I expected these results, and if I don't get the results, I go and find the meditation based on disappointment. And I make sure that I cleanse my mind and cleanse myself, so that I don't carry that burden, whatever the dark cloud with me. I have to be aware of that. Not necessarily that I feel, because sometimes you can feel disappointment unknowingly. You may say, "Oh, I'm okay with it," but a disappointment is a disappointment, or a happy is happy. Happy means happy, so you have to cleanse yourself. So I do that. Make sure that I go, like when you were saying, Dr. Pickett, going doing activities without an intention. So you have to have a clarity why you're doing what you do, and reconnect with yourself. So for me, basically, I'm aware that I live a busy life. So I observe everything that I do. And when I'm feeling down, or like if there is an event, basically my mental health is very, very important to me. I stop everything that I'm doing and I reconnect with whatever is going on, try to reconnect with myself within, with my inner being. And once I do that, it does help me to actually, basically, I have to be alert. And I use meditation awakening, meditation to awaken my inner being as well. And I use that meditation. And basically, I ask God to actually hold my hand whenever things are not going the way I want. And also, you have to observe your feelings as well. Your feelings are very, very important, how you're feeling at that time. And without blaming yourself, there are some people that they blame themselves when they're not feeling okay. It's okay not to feel okay. It's okay not to feel down. It's okay to feel happy. Some people, they blame themselves. And some people, like if you have kids, they feel that I don't deserve to have 5 minutes, but you do deserve to have 5 minutes, some me time, just you without the kids. And make sure you get all those times as well, just uh, to make sure that you what did Padmani say? He said, "In my observation and experience, family member support will help a lot to manage stress." Yeah, they do help a lot. You have to. There are family members who are champions, so you have to make sure that you get support from your family, from those people that you know that they're going to help you. There's some people. For me, basically, family members, family members, I find them that they are very protective of me. So whenever I want to do something, when I have people that I've selected that I talk to them whenever I'm doing something. And family members, for me, they're just like, they're there for me. I know that they will protect me when I manage stress. When I'm stressed, they make things worse, because they'll be like, you shouldn't be doing this, or you shouldn't be doing that. So the doctor, that is a good idea as well. Doctor should be on your call if things are not working well, to manage your stress. And just find those family members. I have quite a few family members, people that are, I call them champion. I know that if I tell them something, they're not going to tell me what I need to hear, or they're not going to try to stop me doing the things that I want to do just because I'm stressed. They'll try to support me wherever they can. So I like those people. And friends as well. Find good friends that can support you as well, good network. And also, I don't know if Dr. Biggett, you have anything that you want to add on that one. Support groups as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We are all social humans, is a social animal, right? And so we, by natures, we are meant to be with connected. Even if you are a pronounced introvert, and the way I was, I used to be if you put that on a scale with 10 being the most what do you call it, severe or intense or something. I was a 10 out of 10 introvert back in the day. You still want to have connection to somebody, maybe not a large group of people and so forth, but even if it's just a few people, it's very important to be able to have somebody who is in your corner And even better if that person not only being in your corner but also able to support you in certain manner. And sometimes it's a family member is very important if to be able to have a great relationship. Now at the same time, not every single one of us has a family member who are supportive. Sometimes they are protective, and for some people the protective ones, depend on where we are in our growth phase, they might actually feel like they are antagonizing us. If you ever have your parents, and my parents sometimes still do that, oh my god, don't do that kind of thing, it's going to be a lot of work, oh my goodness, what have you. And it can be talking about stress. If you actually have a family member in your life, or friend or somebody in your life, but it's particular family member, your parents, your significant other, that they see you stressed, like you say, Numsa, they see you a little bit stressed, a little bit challenged, and they say, well, maybe you shouldn't do that, maybe you should take it easy and all these things. And we might find it annoying, by the way. We might like, but you're supposed to support me. But just remember this, they might actually be, even though seemingly to you, they are antagonizing you. And this is when you can see it this way, it will reduce your stress about them, because you might feel it which your feeling is valid, but feelings no right or wrong here. Feeling, you want to acknowledge your feeling, but at the same time you might want to also be aware that even though they seems like they're antagonizing you, if they're your loved one and they see you stress, it might be they're trying to protect you. Nobody want their loved one to be stressed. If you're a mom and your kid's stressing out, guess what you're gonna do? Oh, honey, what can I do for you? And sometimes you're like, this is just something I got to do on my own, right? So if you have somebody, a loved one, that seemingly, first of all, saying, oh, but maybe you shouldn't. You should just take it easy. Maybe you shouldn't put yourself into this kind of endeavor and this and that. Just know, if it's stressing you out, if it doesn't really matter. If it's stressing you out, first of all, that they might be well intending. That's their way of trying to protect you, kind of like a mother or figures trying to protect you. Now, at the same time, you want to have somebody who support you with your endeavor, who's somebody kind of like in your corner. And so, if it doesn't come from your family member, you can have wonderful, loving family member. It could be somebody else. It could be your friends, and depend on the friend. And if you are growing and you have a group of childhood friend, and you are growing in sometimes you kind of like start to have a slightly different mind, the way of looking at things, then there are other people. We're here for you. You can count on us on being able to be here for you to support your growth. You can have coaches. We know that no Olympic athlete, nobody become an Olympian without actually a contingent of coaches, not just one. And the same thing, if you look on the other side, you might say, oh, that's Olympian. Nobody become a doctor, a specialist in particular. Nobody, without having mentors. We look back at this, let's say somebody, I happened to be on Clubhouse the other day, and somebody says this. It's like, so many mentors required for you to become doctor, particular specialist. I'm like, to become an oncology specialist, you require to have 3 people as your mentor, required by the board. Just so nobody can do that on your own. Allow yourself some support is definitely a very reliable way to be able to be less stressful, and being able to have more well-being emotionally and mentally, and also to kind of, you can bounce back ideas, and it help you grow, and make you solve problems easier and better, and naturally you'll be able to be less stressed. And then to me, actually, the other things, Numsa, is something that I like to have fun. I'm a believer in having fun. And so to create fun, there's a difference between creating fun and having fun. creating fun is you actually find things that make it fun, that you kind of like, okay, this look like it's gonna be fun today, and that's Fun, not Fund. This look like gonna be fun today, and we're just gonna do that. And like even this thing here, you can have things like this cat, this cup here. It's a cat mom, and this is actually come from one of my assistant. And I'm a cat mom, and so someday I'm like, oh, you know what? Instead of my regular mug that's somewhat plain, I'm like, this is gonna be a fun one today. And usually I do this particular when I get to wake up early in the morning or doing certain thing. I'm like, I'm just gonna have fun and look at it's like it's a cute thing. It's make me think about my cat, even though he's somewhere else in the room, and all the cute things that he does. So have fun, something that allow you to be able to laugh, because study shows that where laughter help you tolerate pain better. It's help you releasing from your body to help you tolerate pain better, and then you will be able to be less stressed, have better well-being. What do you do for fun, Numsa? Talking about fun, is there a particular, because different places has different thing, right? Like in the US, we have certain old TV shows. Some people do different thing. What do you do? Is there particular TV show in the UK that tend to be a lot of comedy and fun and lighthearted?
Okay, what I do for fun is I watch a TV series. I don't watch so much TV because in this house the children watch TV, then I get fed up waiting for my turn. So I end up doing other things. I go music. When I'm not working, I go to the choir and we sing, and that is fun to me because it's something that I love. And when I'm not in the house, I go for a running. Um, to me, running is fun. Basically, it's where I can just be myself and just breathe in the nature. And I like it when you bring funny. I was talking to one of the parents in my daughter's school group, and she's looking for a dance school, but she put a words that I'm looking for not exams fun. So I said to her, any activities that your child has to do outside school is meant to be fun. It's called fun. It's just us parents where we start pushing children, even if you're doing it professional, you're still doing it fun. My daughter she's 15 now, she'll be 16 in November. She's been dancing since she was 4, and drama acting and stuff. But if you talk to her, she's professional, but if you ask her, she will tell you that I'm doing it for fun. It is fun, because when you go on stage, like let's say with music, it's where you can communicate with your troubles, whatever has been going on. You sing a song, you connect with yourself, or whether it's acting, you're connecting with yourself. It is fun. So for me, it's fun. And then I was like, why do parents always think that, when you're doing something, before you can get it professional, you have to find that something fun. And even if you become professional, you still have to have fun. That's how I help my children, basically, when they go on stage and when they're doing competitions. I say to them, listen, when you go on that stage, you are not competing with anyone else. You were there to have fun. Forget about the competition, forget about the trophy. Go there, have fun. It's your stage. You have the stage yourself. Have fun. Don't worry about the footwork, because if you make a mistakes on the footwork, and if I don't know, but you're still giving me all, you're still having fun, I'm just going to forget about the footwork and just look at you and try to connect with you. And that's how I help my children. Not to say, oh, you're professional, you are this. For me, basically, when I'm doing something, like when I go choir, music, it's a professional choir. They've been on stage, they won on TV, and they are choir of the year. And when I go there, I just go there to have fun. And for me, basically, it's something where I'm not at gossip talk shows. I'm not at Hope Springs Tenali Production Agency. I'm just on stage communicating, or sometimes we sing gospel music. I'm just there having fun. That's how I see it, that life is all about fun. So I was trying to explain to this a parent that when you basically looking for activities, it has to, your mindset, it has to be all about fun, and not to say, as I was like, exams you can't take away from the kids, but everything you do in life is fun. And even the teachers, when they see your child, their ability to take exams, you can't say no to somebody else's dream. And I said to her, just go to this school that people are suggesting, and as a parent, go have fun. Let your child to go have fun. And once you see that your child connect with this school, then as a parent, you will know that this is where my child is meant to be. Because sometimes as parent, we make mistakes. We think about, oh, I don't want my child to do this. I don't want my child to do this. And that is somebody else's dream. And for me, I'm a parent. Basically, I let my children do their destiny. They do the fun bit. When we off school, we everywhere we go, we just have fun. So they know that. But if fun involves me paying Dr. Biget, it means you, when you are there for 1 year, you cannot say I'm out. You stay there and keep having fun. So that is the fun of basically observing your life and observing your goals, and basically stopping to think, having time to think about why you're doing the things that you do. And also, if some people are struggling as well, there are some apps for meditation. I've attached them here as well, so you can look at those apps and try to meditate. And if you are struggling, they do help a lot with that. And what is, yeah, you say friends and family, they are big support, major role. Yes, they do. They play major role in our lives. And for me as well, I've realized that actually whenever I needed help with the friends, there's one friend that I rely on, and Dr. Bickett is my accountability as well. So, and when you have someone that you rely on, and when you have someone, I've not been straight lately about the house, so I'm waiting. I think I might have found the house, so I'm waiting for the process and see once the process goes through Dr. Bickett, so I will know that I do have the house. And it's just having when you don't judge your life, and you're aware of your thoughts, you're aware of your body, you heal your body very often, in your soul. Whenever you are struggling with something like Dr. Biggett, I've been looking for a house to move for a long time, but they came to a time where I had to go and live somewhere else. Not used to that kind of life, but for me, it was the time where I had to say, God, I am grateful that I have someone that I can say I will go and stay. And when I was basically, I knew that I'll end up buying the house or getting the house that I didn't want. So I was like, okay, I knew my father-in-law will let us stay. And then I was like, would you mind it for us to come and stay? And he was like, okay, sure. So we went, and the children were not happy. His son wasn't happy, but it had to happen so that we can find the house. Because when you feel pressured, you make mistakes, and the stress as well. And I didn't want all that stress to carry the stress and pressuring myself. So, and that's what I had to do. And I had to meditate, and I had to basically have the awareness of why I'm doing what I was doing. Why am I moving to my father-in-law? For me, it was to buy the house to have the house that I can afford, not getting the house for the sake of getting it, because there was a house that we like, and we thought, when you have all these plans and you're like, we're moving in on this day, and then the plans changed. So you have to be prepared on those times as well, where you get disappointment when your expectations have not been fulfilled. So you have to have those times where you're gonna have to use meditation to calm yourself down and to connect. This is the world that we live in. So over to you, Dr. Bickett. Have you ever been in a situation where basically you expect something to happen and that something does not happen? And how have you been able to deal with that situation, like similar to mine? I basically been honored to have people like you guys, the coaches, where I connect with you guys and I speak about my problems, and you tell me that I have to keep believing and I have to keep manifesting. I have to uh, keep that faith. And how have you been able? So now over to you.
Absolutely, Numsa. Have I ever been in a time where I have things going on and it doesn't happen that I would love to happen? Absolutely, it happens all the time. I have every month, every week, every day actually goals, right? But there are times when it doesn't work out. And there are times that seemingly I try everything under the sun and it doesn't work out anyway. So what do I do in those scenario? A few things. The first one is I have learned to allow our feelings. Sometimes in this day and age, it's easy for us to say, oh, particularly if you look at social media and everybody else, and people say, be strong, push through, be positive, what have you. Yes, it's good to be positive and so forth. And at the same time, we're all human. And particularly being a grief coach, one thing that I always say is, the first thing is you don't try to run away from it. You don't try to push it away. You actually simply learn to allow your feeling. Whatever feeling that you're feeling, feeling is not right or wrong. Feelings are just feelings. And so if you feel disappointed, you feel sad, you feel angry, or any combination of those, to notice and simply allow your feelings. And then when you're doing that, now you can also at the same time, while you're allowing, you can choose not to be drowned in it. There's a difference between noticing and allowing and said, okay, I noticed that I'm disappointed, versus sitting there and mulling over it and talking about it and so forth, and you never move forward. So you allow your feeling to start with, and then to allow, and then like you said, Numsa, to find a way to also release and replace them. And it could be meditation. It could be something else. Some people go on a walk, and when you walk, let's say you go for a walk or a run in a mindful manner with an intention. In a way, it's actually a form of meditation. Many times we think that meditation is sitting down, not moving for 30 minutes or what have you, but it is really aligning your mind. And so it could be you going for a walk, could be going for could be dancing. I do dance away sadness, and if you like music and dancing, you would love, you'll enjoy dance away sadness. Which the next one is actually on May, the community one on May 7th. Dance away sadness. You listen to the music and you listen to your heart, and then you allow your heart to lead you and release what's need to be released, celebrate what's need to be celebrated, rejoice and tears, things that you would love to do. So something like that. But and then to choose to replace it in something that helpful. That is, if you got disappointed because something doesn't work out, then back to being having somebody to support. Then ask what else can I do in peace after you allow, after you release your emotions. Ask what else can you do with this. And for me, it comes with friends who are very experienced, even more because I believe in continuing to grow. My coaches, there are I even now I coach, and I would go to the coach and say, this has happened. So what is your thought about this? What do you think? What's your best recommendations? And that's when you want to have a supportive community that grow the way as you are as well. It's very important for me that people who are around me, in particular my coach, is in alignment with my growth. And sometimes you might be with one coach already for a good long while, and you say, what, as I'm growing, it's doesn't mean that you don't like the person, but sometimes you simply want to allow a different a different or an additional support, back to no all or nobody become an Olympic athlete or a doctor without multiple coaches and mentor. And if you're really looking at the journey of becoming, let's say, not even an Olympic athlete, just a doctor, a specialist, you see this. When you start, you have a set of the core mentors, so to say. And as you advances in your training, they required you additional mentors. So in other words, my background's in oncology. For oncology, you need to have 3 people to even start with. They require you to have 3 people running from day one with you. But as you advance in your teaching, they said you need to have 1 month with a radiologist. You need to have 1 month, actually longer, to 3 months with this person, 3 months with that person with that specialty, and the same thing with your life. You might want to do that, particularly if you are growing and you notice yourself facing some challenges, which is an opportunity to grow. Then you might say, okay, I have this person that's been by my side, but since I'm going this route and I'm going that route, then you might want to allow support for 3 months, for 6 months, the way a specialist being trained. And then that will kind of get you back on track and keep your momentum going, instead of you being stressed out, which is actually when we have enough stress to cause us enough unsettling feelings. That's then the other name of grief. Grief, by definition, is the unsettling feelings caused by a change in your routine. Now, you might be the one that create the change. It might be life that create that change, but then that way there is no reason to create grief. Simply just allow support, and then you'll be able to keep going, because otherwise we know what happened is, once you have these unsettling feelings, like you say, you kind of like feeling unsettled, you scared, you confused. That's when you slow down. That's when you're not able to move forward. That's when you hit the glass ceiling, so to say, and then you stress even more, right? So we try not to do that. So I would say allow yourself. And for me, that's to allow myself and to choose to replace whatever, to allow it, to release it, and then to choose to do differently. And if we sometimes we don't always know exactly, usually actually we don't know what else to do. That's when you allow support. And when I typically I like with my mentor, I talk with my mentor twice a week, and I would bounce back ideas. I would ask questions. I would say, I tried this, it didn't work, what do I do? So that is something that I would say, give yourself a gift, give ourselves a gift of being able to have the support that we need, is number one way of to the time, and the gift of time and the gift of support to manage our stress and well-being.
I agree with you, Dr. Biget. It is very, very important to have that professional support, and also, when you have that professional support, it means you can get rid of loneliness, because loneliness as well. Some people, when they're feeling down, they don't socialize. So if you have someone that basically helps you to actually go back to where you need to be, and coach you and help you, so it does help. And also it can cause isolation as well. Stress cause isolation for people to isolate instead of socialize as well. So it does help when you have someone in your life that will say, okay, if this is what you're feeling, negative feelings, do this, and just they help guide you, your guidance. They're basically guiding you through life. So it is very, very important to actually look after your well-being and make sure that uh, you have time to socialize with family members and friends, and go out to have a coffee. You don't have to work all the time, be just work, work, work. You can just go out and meet some friends once a week, or just depending with your time as well. Just have this time where you set aside for yourself to actually go and have fun and clear your mind. And also, Dr. Biket, you talk about the people that are around you, your coach. You have to make sure that coach is aligned with your growth. It is very important, and if you don't have a good coach, it's very, very important to have someone good to hold your hand through dark times, because having a business or having a job that is challenging is not easy. So you still need to have that support. So it is good to have support with you. And some people say, I don't need support, I don't need this. And that's why people get sink into depression and anxiety and all sorts. But if you have someone that is there for you and making sure that you're doing your exercises, you're meditating, like I said before, the apps for meditation, I've attached them there, so you can, if you have Android phone or Apple, you can go to Apple Store or you can go to Play Store and just up, download them for free and just start using them. They are free apps and they are good ones as well. If you want paid meditation, I think you can get it. Even on YouTube, there's free meditation as well. There's loads, so you can't make an excuse. Whatever meditation you feel like you want to do, if you want meditation about connecting with your inner child, there is there. Meditation about connecting with God is there. Meditation about basically getting rid of disappointment, or maybe what happened back to your childhood. You want to get rid of that very energy. There's all sorts of meditation out there so that you can use. Guided ones and guided ones. Some they're just music, so there's loads that you can use. Any words of encouragement, Dr. Biget, before we leave?
Yes, definitely. I would say my words of encouragement in terms of being able to be more resilient and less stressed is to know that you're not alone. Sometimes, like you say, Numsa, we feel very lonely and we feel that we have to do this alone and nobody get our back, so to say, but you're not alone. And at the same time, it is up to you to reach out and say, hey, I'm welcoming support. So you're not alone. Just know that. But we wouldn't know that you need support if you don't let us know. So reach out and then see that when you're supported, you feel more at ease, and also will be able to accomplish even more. So that would be my word of encouragement for today.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Biget. And for me as well, my words of encouragement is switch off gadgets. Have time, some free time, switch off gadgets, switch off your social media, and just look at your environment, work on your environment, make sure is good for you, and do something that you enjoy. Decide who you spend time with as well is very, very important, the people that you spend time with and your environment and their environment is very, very important. So like Dr. Biggett said, we are here at Ngozi Talk Shows Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. UK time. Please do get in touch if you feel like you want to connect with someone. Dr. Biggett is she's a grieving coach. Grieving, it does not mean necessarily death or anything. When you have disappointment each and every day, that disappointment becomes grieving. So just get in touch with her. And if you are looking for love or you want to find your own voice and lead from within, please get in touch with us at Ngozi Talk Shows. Live with grace, everyone, and God bless you.